Hello and welcome to Dario's Comic School, and today we will have a very important video, maybe one of the most important videos, and it is a tale of, well, what's the video called? The video is called The Number One Mistake Beginner Comic Artists or Writers Make. A mistake I've done and how to start the proper way. And this is the beginning of a video series. We start in the year in the winter of 2013. I'm now a decade into this game, and I had many failures, many victories, and many experiences, and I did them so you don't have to do them. So in this video, and stay till the end. In this video, we will take a look at what I did after movie school when I decided I wanted to do comics. And my first biggest mistake, I will drop it right now, so you don't have to wait until the video. I hate it when they spam. The biggest number one mistake was that I wanted to do as my first thing like a 100-page graphic novel. And what I should have done instead was one-page comics. We will take a look in a few seconds or in the next video in depth in one-page comics, then two-page comics, four-page comics, eight-page comics, the best 8 pages you can deliver, and then work your way up to 22 pages. And once you have done 22 pages of a comic, and if you can do issue 1, issue 2, issue 3, 4, and even a 5, you have 100 pages of sequential art. And at that point, at that point, you can do a Sin City. At that point, you can do a Bone. At that point, you can do a Walking Dead. But it's not the first thing you do. Again, this is general advice. It's probably good advice, but who am I to say what you should do? Like, I did listen also to people and I said, man, I do it. But listen to this story, because I will take you through my humble beginnings, through my failure, and then rediscovering the right way. If you're interested, well, I only can zoom into the screen. It's a very sunny day. I might let down this. So if you want to sign up, in the link down below, a link to my Indiegogo campaign, The Last Pickup Artist. It launched a few days ago. So check it out, link down below. The Last Pickup Artist, issue 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, the full bundle. So for only, I just made one perk. Tell me if I should do multiple perks, but I try to keep it simple. So let's see. So when I ended movie school, and I worked for the movies, I was kind of burned out. I worked for German television, and it was kind of fun. It was cool, but I thought to myself, man, that's not what I want to do. I want to do something like this, a Sin City. And at that time, I was very much into movies, and there was a German movie called Im Schatten, which means in the shadow, and it's about a German gangster, and he's pretty quiet. It's a pretty quiet, silent movie, like the noirs of the 30s, and so it's about a guy, and it's about a money bag and drugs, and about a job gone wrong, heist gone wrong. And yeah, and I was reading also Torpedo and Sin City, and you know what I mean. That's what I wanted to do. And before I show you the project, which then the plan was that I took the money that I had made from working for movies. I would stay a couple of months in my room and just draw it out, or make a portfolio, or make a rough layout, so I could go with that to a German comic publisher, and maybe they would say, okay, we fund you, and we'll do the comic. Because a friend of mine had kind of done the similar thing here with a cross-cult Verlag, cross-cult publisher, and so I thought maybe I can do it too. Like if he can do it, I can do it. And so before I show you the project, which is called BESTEITIGER, it's about, I will show you in a second, but let me show you in a decade how much work you can accumulate. Like this is sketches for car geese. As you can see I will put them in the link down below here, just some random drawings here. We will come to this. This is the year, I guess, 2017. Yes, this is for the Buff Dudes, a comic. Time for the Cut, and again for the Buff Dudes comics, and lots of pages. And I have back here, as you can see, this was used for animation work, and I will come to all of these drawings, and I have tons and tons of these project folder. This is Young Tuerto, as you can see, the story layouted. I will keep you up to date through the years. And why I'm showing this is because, like, as you can see, these projects are not yet realized, or some of them are realized and some of them are just in the concept stage. And as you can see, a lot of planning, a lot of checking out which style. As you can see here, I was going for Hernandez Brothers and layouting stories, Young Tuerto, the mid, the beginning parts, characters. And this is like a bunch of movies that have never seen the light of the day, or a bunch of comics. And I show this for a good reason, because, well, I could show you also the folder down here. I don't know even what's in here, but as you can see, oh, here, this is a project folder with tons of projects, just artwork. This is for a music video, and this got animated. A lot of just artwork that went into print. Some of it is very crude right now, but as you can see, tons of folders. Here in the back we have Diablero, and yeah. So let's begin the search for, as you can see, homepage. And down here is another folder just with artwork. Here, my first comic school drawings I did when I was younger. This was for a comic commission, and tons of stuff that didn't see the light of the day. And this is important because sometimes you just work on the craft, but from time to time you have to put it into, how do you say? You have to finish a product like Collected Indiegogo, and people need to have access to it. Like, it needs to be shipped. And a bunch of stuff got shipped, like this cover, or this got shipped. So we need to train you to get into the habit of thinking of a thing, being able to do it, and then do it, and then do the next thing. And I used the analogy of the gym. You don't get this big just by lifting once. It takes time to build up, like the physical strengths of a Hulk. And so let's see where the BESTEITIGER is. This is for Time for the Cut. As you can see, tons of work, and here are the originals for Time for the Cut. We will come to this as we progress along the story. This is Sleeping with Fishes, another story about Vietnam War. And we will come to my first 8 pages, which is called Space Opera. Let me show you. As you can see, this one page is the layout for my, as you can see, January 29th, 2014. This was very early in the game, and here I was layouting a story, and I wanted to do 8 pages. So yeah, this is where we go. But before we start, and this is a very long introduction, but it's very important that you see that sometimes work was fruitful, money got earned, but yeah, sometimes. So where is der Beseitiger? A Patreon video. And maybe one day we will just, as you can see, a lot of practicing the craft. So if you want to make your comics by yourself, it's really tough to get all the skills you need, because it's like really doing a movie. So somebody's got to write it, somebody has to draw it, somebody has to ink it, and yeah, a lot of time spent. So let me see. This is also a cool story, never saw the light of the day. We'll see about that. So 12 minutes in, and we have not yet seen the project Der Beseitiger. Pretty bad movie, pretty bad. As you can see, pencil drawings stolen from Magic the Gathering or copied from Magic the Gathering. Homepage. Lorenzo's Diner also never saw the light of the day. Really cool space stage in which Lorenzo is just a cook, and it's the outer rim of, how can you say, the universe. And then one day the military shows up, they're going to war, and yeah, pretty interesting. As you can see, here's StarCraft, here Warhammer. Well, it's crazy. Where is it? Up. It could be that there is no Beseitiger right here. I was trying to find it, but a lot of it could be that the quality wasn't as good and I threw it away, but I will tell you the story in a second. But as you can see, tons of stuff, tons of designs, works, pages and pages. I thought it was here. Here's die Metwurst. Okay. As you can see, this is where we go in the next video to the one-page comics. This is a layout for a one-page comic. It's pretty simple. It's just panels on a page and a story told. And here is kind of like 19th January, my first one-page comic. And yeah, I cannot find the Beseitiger. Where is it? But everything else is there. Okay. So then let me tell you, if I don't have nothing to show, well, the Beseitiger featured a guy and that guy was a bit like Marv, and I was planning to draw that in the likes of Sin City, to save time, and also because like I really liked it. And Klaus was, let me draw you Klaus. If I don't have him here, a pretty bad video, I would say, but yeah. These are designs for my werewolf comic, also never saw the light of the day. But yeah, okay. So let me grab this pen and let's put the camera down. So Klaus was kind of like this Marv guy, but he looked a bit like a German bodybuilder. And I had a guy who worked with me, and okay, I need new ink, and well, I have to find it, and then I will make a new one. And Klaus looked a bit like yeah, he had like blonde hair and a beard, but he was pretty buffed, maybe a bit on steroids. And the idea was that Klaus, in his younger years, there is a part 1 and there's a part 2, and I start with part 2. It's in the, let's say, 2010s, and he's like around 40 or something, and he gets out of prison, and comes back to his hometown. He's a bit older, he's not young anymore, and so the Italian mafia, which I live here in South Germany, and South Germany is definitely was infiltrated by mafia back in the 80s, 90s, and now they are all into different industries. So I don't know if they do the dirty work, but back then a lot of drugs, a lot of trafficking, and a lot of that stuff. And so I had envisioned that he went to his favorite bar. I gotta get those designs and do it properly. So, but I will conclude this in 3 minutes. So he goes to this bar, and there's some mafia trafficking, and something goes wrong. It's a bit like Country for Old Men, but I think I came up with this idea before Country for Old Men came up, but it's a typical Heist Gone Wrong movie or comic. So everybody in his favorite bar dies, including his love interest, which is the bar lady. And so he grabs the money back, and he's then on the run. He's on the run from the Italian mafia, on the run from the Turkish mafia. And before we see him run, we see his life after prison. It's like pretty mundane, and everybody asks him if he wants to get back into business. It's a bit like Rocky, like the aged guy. And the police is after him, Italian mafia, Turkish mafia. Everybody wants the money, everybody wants him. And he goes definitely on a rampage. So I think I will do a movie, a video about part 1 and part 2 of this comic, because in the second comic then we will jump to his youth when he's like 20, and it's the 70s or 80s, and he's what do you say? He's a Bauarbeiter. He works construction, and then he meets this Italian girl, and it's the 80s, and a lot of immigrants from Italy in Germany, and she works at a strip bar, and he falls in love with her, and then he gets into all of that mafia stuff. And again, a heist movie gone wrong, or maybe like Summer Love. I gotta find the designs. But this is what I was working towards, and I was getting unaddicted from League of Legends and all of that computer games. I don't know what it was, but something was wrong with my body or my mind. I was so addicted to playing video games, and yeah, I was then working like day and night, and Hearthstone came out, and I played day and night Hearthstone, and I had a bit of money on the side, but I was thinking, okay, I see nobody, I do nothing, I go to the gym and I complete this comic, or at least this 100 pages, and I will show this in the next video. And what ended up happening, I burned kinda out, because like I was doing the drawings, I was coming up with a story. I wasn't that great of a storyteller back then, and I just had a bunch of storyboards and the drawings. Some of it did look great, but some of it didn't. And so I took on too much too soon. And yeah, that's kind of the lesson of this video, to not start with a 100-page graphic novel epic. It is better to start maybe with a 1-page comic, with a 2-page comic, a 4-page comic, and then your first best 8 pages, and then do a 22-page comic. And once you've done that repeatedly, then you can go for your epic graphic novel. The way Frank Miller did it, the way maybe Charlie Adler did it, or Jeff Smith in Bone. So a pretty long video, I don't know, maybe I failed a bit by showing you all of this stuff, but maybe it's good to show you how much work goes into it, and sometimes not everything comes out, but a lot of the stories I did, or I imagined in 2014, they developed, they enhanced, they got nowhere, but then when I did The Last Pickup Artist or other comics, I was prepared, and maybe I'm also prepared to go back to those stories and to develop them and do them and make them fresh again. So we see us in the next video, and until then, start small.